and Lisburn City Mayor's Carnival Parade, as Nick said there, is on today at 1 o'clock. Right, we're nipping over to County Down now next, and the southeastern side of it, between Downpatrick and Dundrum, where some of the best singers in the country live. And Mary McStay can vouch for that. We're talking here Voices of Lecale. Mary, remind us again, who are they and how many voices?
Well, Voices of Lecale is the name given to, I suppose the best way to describe it is a community choir. It's a group of people, men, women, young, old, in between, who want to sing and who love singing. You're talking about a number of, well, the number can go right up to 40, maybe, you know, at a big rehearsal. They meet once a week, and they're people who just have an enthusiasm for singing together.
And the woman who founded this group, this inspirational group, Laura Plummer is her name. And what's her background like?
Well, the interesting thing about, well, there are many interesting things about Laura Plummer. Laura Plummer has an absolute infinite amount of energy. And Laura worked in, I suppose, a regular 9-to-5 job, and she every day would go to her work and absolutely loved her work. However, she had this little tiny voice inside her, if you'll pardon the comparison, but she had a tiny voice inside her which was saying things like, you know, what would happen if I did something that was completely different? And she always loved singing herself, and she's a musician. So she decided to step away from what she was doing and to plunge into this world of allowing other people to sing and to enjoy it as much as she does.
Well, you put us in the notion for a song, so time to get gathered for singing.
Toes nice and free and easy, and then moving up to your knees. Let the tummy go loose. Have a few wee sighs. You can grunt, you can groan, let it all out. Yeah, exactly. Oh, John. Sounds like a man who's had a hard day so far. Okay.
Okay, Laura, well, I'm taking you away from your rehearsals. It just seems like you all have such an awful lot of fun.
That's actually true. They do have a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun taking that group. We've been going about 8 years now, but it wasn't always 45. We had about 12 or 13 brave souls at the beginning, and then mostly by word of mouth it has spread. People have brought friends. Sometimes someone will come along and say, I don't know if this is for me. They'll sit in on one evening. I don't think we've lost anyone yet that way. Nearly anyone that's come along and tried it out and has decided to stay. And a lot of the people who are here, what brings them together, what they all have in common, is the love of music and the love of sound and the love of making that with other people.
Well, you must have come across some mighty good singers pulling together a choir of this size.
You have some people who have wonderful voices, and there are people who come to the singer circle who belong to other choirs, and you have people who haven't yet discovered their voice, quite a few of them, who are still singing in quite a sort of timid way, but I'm hopeful that if they just keep coming, one day they'll stand there and they'll knock us down with the force of it, you know, because the voice is the powerful thing about who you are.
Where are you from?
I come from Bangor, and I got involved here because I damaged my knee cycling and set dancing, so I needed an outlet. It gives you a great buzz. Even if you've got a headache, you come singing and it lifts, and it is really, really lovely.
And Angela, where have you come from?
I come from Raffrey, which is just 7 miles out the road, and a friend of mine brought me, and it's wonderful. It was great fun.
Did you sing before you joined the choir?
Yes, I did. My background is traditional music. My father was a traditional fiddle player.
So you weren't at all nervous then about singing?
I wouldn't say that. It's nice to do it in a choir because you don't feel it's conspicuous.
Sing, dear, the mice are flying, and lights are too. That's time.
sing?
I would say everyone can sing. Now, I would qualify that. I would say everyone has a voice, everyone can sing, and that's the motto of the group. You know, if you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing, which is apparently a Zimbabwean proverb, emphasising what people can do rather than what they can't do. And the idea of community. So in tribal societies where there's no idea of you can't sing or, you know, you stand at the back. Everybody comes along. They instinctively know how to harmonise. They instinctively get together and move together and sync. But there are some people who have a condition where they can't hear, they can't distinguish in pitch. But they're a very small percentage of the population. So what I want to do now, having done that once right through with you, is go back and have a wee look at those harmonies again, okay? So the high harmonies, right? Let's just do your part on its own, and what I want you to concentrate on is the bit where you go high. You know those, right? So we have to try it a wee bit. So let's just do that harmony on its own, right?
Of course, it's not all females in the choir. There are some men in the choir as well.
I'm John Aldworth from Saintfield.
And how long have you been involved in singing with the choir?
Well, there was the singing circle from about 2005, and then this choir the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
What do you get from this that you wouldn't get from the garden?
Well, it's a different thing. If you happen to have during the week, you don't particularly enjoy the day. If you come in the evening to the choir, you'll come out with really raised spirits. It's fantastic for lifting your spirits. The company here is fantastic, second to none.
And I noticed that some of the songs that you're singing aren't in English.
No, it's sometimes quite a challenge, but it can be enjoyable when you find yourself get your pronunciation around these words.
My name's Bernadette Kiln. I come from Ardglass.
So you've travelled a bit of a distance to be
Just
here.
about 6 miles.
Now, some of the songs are quite complex because you've got harmonies and rhymes. Do you have a particular favourite?
I like the German round. Yes, I like it very much.
And do you speak German?
No, not at all.
Does it matter that you know what you're saying?
No, it's the sound of the music and the sound of the harmonies and the goodwill among the people that bring it together. It's a beautiful, special sound.
You must take a holiday then during the year, do you, at some stage?
Yeah, we'd be off over the summertime and then we all come back again then in September and sing away again.
So what happens during the summertime to you?
I just torture my family. I'm singing away all the time. They know all the songs as well.
Right? So I think you got that. That was quite good. I used to say to my husband, I've no time to smell the roses. And he would say to me now, you've less time to smell. He says, you're actually busier now than you ever were. And that is one of the real joys of this. You know, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. You get the chance to work with a very wide range of people, to move around a bit. I mean, one of the things I love doing is to be asked by another group, come and do a session with us. So you get all these connections going out. So I love the joy of that and jumping into the unknown. I think part of it is there's a wee bit in you that thinks that the only way you really learn is to always be slightly uncomfortable, you know, to push yourself to the edge of what you already know.
Brilliant. I don't know, was that a chair or a foot? What was that thud, Mary?
I will tell you what that was. The St Patrick's Centre in Downpatrick is where I went to meet the group. And in that beautiful, anybody who knows the building will know immediately what I'm talking about. That beautiful reception area with the semicircular glass front on it. It's a beautiful centre, but has a spiral stairway going up, and that's where the choir were when I recorded that piece. Now, when we got to the very end, someone had stepped into the reception area from outside, and what you hear is the sound of the door closing, right on cue.
Okay, it was perfect. It was a perfect way to end that. But I mean, they sounded brilliant either way. They're the energy and the enthusiasm, and the group has got bigger, hasn't it? And they have a new CD out.
Well, the group, of course, has got bigger. And it's one of those situations where I would imagine even after today, it's going to get even bigger, because when you hear that, it is so infectious and you cannot not sing.
No, you're right.
I am going to be humming and singing
You are,
today.
and so am I.
They have a CD out, and yes, it can be. You can get the CD from Laura. Contact the program and get details as well. But you know, an even better thing, you could actually sing yourself if you really want to with Laura, because she is running a workshop today in Uri, and that will begin at 10:30. But I'm sure it would be okay if you turned up like 20 minutes late.
I'm sure.
And you know, this business about if you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. So it's a day for anybody who would love to pick up some of that inspirational stuff from Laura Plummer and at the Arts Centre in Uri.
Brilliant. Mary, thank you very much for an inspirational chat. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing.